Time for another run on the Discipline Priest, this time for our very first 12 Mechagon, and everything was going peachy until... Oh my god, help! I'm pressing all my defensives! Please don't die now! Yeah, there is still a lot to learn about this dungeon, especially in the 12th, so I guarantee you will leave with something by the end of the video, regardless if you're a healer, tank, or DPS. How did we escape certain death and bring in the key? Let's see. Now the first pull, we're gonna get these mobs in the front and the mobs on the right plus the mobs in the back. As a healer, always remember, once you engage into combat with this pop everything you have, because it's all out chaos with all of these mobs. You have all of these orange circles to dodge, you have a lot of like tonks, like little chicken tonks jumping at you and jumping on other DPS as well. You cannot be 100% sure all of the kicks will be interrupted, so always have everything ready once you engage into combat just to be safe. So this first pack is no problem whatsoever as long as the DPS maintain their CCs and interrupts. Then we get to the last part of the pack, I would say, where we have 3 bomb tonks we need to interrupt and the 2 chicken tonks that we just need to take the hits from. It's much easier this way, I feel, although there is pretty much chaos with the first one. With this one, it will basically go into a very smooth transitions towards the boss. Now, from the last time I did the 10 Mechagon on, which we have on our channel, I did learn a couple of like very important things in regards to the first boss of Mechagon. So here I am just like looking at the weak aura timeline to see like when the ground pound is coming in, because that's like the first major healing check. So as it comes in, you know, I already like pop my squid, I make sure I radiance, and then I go into my mind blast just to have everything up. There's also the fact that if you're a range, you're probably gonna get these bombs on you to be baited, and this is one thing I learned just thanks to Patrick. Like, it's not the best to like have them baited on the opposite side of where the tank is taking the bosses. Like, it's way better to just bait them to the center of the room. This way you will have a lot more space for both ranged and melees as well, and it won't be as risky. Now I get targeted once again by the flipper here. As I did in the last video, I went towards the wall, but there was also a ground stop coming up, so I had to like make sure like everybody's alive. So I made use of 1 radiance and a penance. Once again, I get the bombs to be baited. I was like closely moving towards the center, but look at this. Look, how did that not explode, man? That was basically in the bomb. This is the risk with this situation if you put him there. So for your next runs in Mechagon, just make sure you try as much as possible to bait these bombs towards the center of the room, so you can have like no risks whatsoever. Ground pound comes once again. I use my uppies there, and once again I have the baits, but now I'm doing the right thing. I'm just baiting them towards the center, so we make a lot more room towards like where the melees are and where the fight is happening, right? So I have the shaman like shielded up because he got the flipper on him. No problem. We're keeping everybody healthy, and we have 1 more ground pound plus the bombs to be baited once again. But at this point, it's pretty much in the back. Just for safety, I did put my dome in front of the melee DPS over there because we were running like a full melee comp. It was a little bit too early, I might add, because like the AoE was coming a little bit later, so the full value of this dome was not 100% guaranteed with that. But still, just a couple of like small manual flash kills, and we pretty much got it in the back. Now we're moving on to, I would say, the first scary group of mobs of this dungeon, which is the mechanical unit drill and the gunks. I have talked about this in the previous video as well. So this is a situation where, especially in the 12, you know, the AoE from the unit plus the absorbs from the gunks really do hurt, and you're gonna see it here. Luckily, I have everything prepped up already. I can see the AoE is coming, the gunks already through their stuff, so I'm now in the process of trying to heal everybody. I had to use a evangelism here just to not risk it, because that absorb is insane, especially on the 12 once again. But this is basically the rotation you have to be aware of when you engage in these mobs. It's the same thing for the others that are coming up. It's a unit drill with a couple of gunks. Make sure you have your cooldowns ready. If you're a DPS, have a defensive or something. And also, if you're a DPS, you can always stop these gunks by CCing them. You know, you can stop that black cast they do to absorb the heal with a CC. So remember that. Now, we're moving towards the next pack, and the next pack will contain a couple of gunks plus the 3 dogs. Now, if you remember, these dogs are not very dangerous by themselves, but they do have a lot of damage through the dot they put on players, which is dispellable. And this is where like a very good communication comes in within your party. It's like if you have a Windwalker monk in the party, they can obviously use detox for that. If you're a priest, you can call out like for nobody to do anything and just gonna mass dispel it like I did here. Unfortunately, the communication wasn't like 100% proper because the monk, which is Flame, actually did use detox, but still I managed to like get a dispel off of the shaman, which is probably the squishiest target over here. At least from this dungeon, it was very imperative to like keep more eyeballs on him than the rest of the group. So after you manage to go through those, to the dispels and stuff, you're gonna be fine. Now here we got 2 dots once again. I dispel the feral and I keep one on myself. I use a desperate prayer and just heal myself until the dispel comes off cooldown, because we are going to pull the boss after these dogs. So I have to be like extra careful. Now with 2 dogs is not that much of an issue. Like you can obviously heal through it, there's no problem. Here you can see like I dispelled the shaman, I dispelled Flame, no problem. And myself before pulling the dog, very important. Now with Cujo, the same rule applies, but on 12s, that dispel on the tank hits much harder, right? So you have to be very, very careful. The main thing about this boss fight, you have to be ready to dispel the tank and have cooldowns up while doing that. This is what happens here. So I dispelled the tank, but I already have all of my ramp up, so this is exquisite. This is how you have to do it. I don't always manage to line up everything, but the key feature from this as a healer is to just make sure you have cooldowns up when you have to dispel the tank, the blazing chomp or whatever it's called. So it's basically a rinse and repeat. Now, of course, you're also going to have the leap, and you're going to have the dispel on the tank in between the phases. You don't have to use major cooldowns for those because you have a lot more time to get everybody up like I did here. But now we're going to have the box dropping in and then the explosive leap. So if you're a healer, especially a squishy one, you make sure you pop cooldowns. If you're a DPS, use some sort of defensive. It will just save your healer a lot more stress, I would say. So this is the part where everybody is alive. I have another dispel for the tank. I still have my squid up, so I managed to get 1 mind blast in and then some penance in. The attunements dropped off, but that was no problem because everybody was pretty much topped. Now, once again, a dispel came. I'm just fast forwarding this because this is the whole dance of the fight, right? Yeah, you get the leap, you pop a defensive. When the dispel comes, you make sure you keep everybody up. After that, and you just go. The thing is, you have to go behind that box with everybody pretty much healthy. That's the key to winning this fight as a healer. And if you're a DPS, like always make sure to like pop a cooldown or something, especially if you get like the explosive leap on. That's the dance. We kill it with no casualties, luckily, so it's all dandy. We need to move on now for the first pack after this boss, which is basically not that scary. The squirrels are scary when they like do this massive blue AoE, but what your DPS and tank need to do is to focus down these tinkerers, because these guys have like super nasty casts, and I don't know why, it's some sort of algorithm or something, but in most cases they target the healers, or at least the ranged DPS. So if your DPS have that covered, it's all good. Flame died over there because he was being a little bit of a DPS whore, but that's okay. As soon as he got resurrected, I put the power word stamina on him, and we Gucci. Now, these 3 mobs, in the 12, their dots hit for a lot, but they also have AoE, and there are 3 of them. So it's very important you have like major cooldowns ready for this as a healer, or if you're a DPS, make sure you use some sort of defensive, especially if you get targeted by the dispel. Well, the little dot. Now the AoE is coming, and I also have a dot on the shaman. He popped his defensive and I managed to dispel it now, but you have to be aware that if a DPS, especially a squishy one like a shaman, has a dot and also you get the AoE, you're gonna have big problems. Now we remember this one, this mob constantly pulsates like AoE, so you have to be 100% on your toes with your cooldowns. You cannot expect your DPS here to like pop defensives because this is basically Giga AoE damage, so they should save their stuff for different purposes, like, you know, dots or some sort of like harder hitting mechanics. So as a healer, just make sure you heal through it, use all of your cooldowns, and don't be too like conservative with them. This is one of the hardest hitting AoE mobs in the dungeon, as you know if you watched our previous video on this. So just keep everybody healthy here, dodge all of the frontals, make sure you still stay in the correct pizza slice, and you should be good to go. It's basically that. Now, the next pack of mobs will contain a very much diverse palette of cats and dots and things you have to be aware of. Unfortunately, I didn't run with a purge on this run, so because there's also like a purge you can do for these, but it wasn't like the biggest problem in the world. I think that the shaman got his purge with him, so it was all good. So as you can see here, there's like mechanics that need to be interrupted. We have, you know, these mobs that put dots on people and also do AoE damage, plus the squirrels always stay in the little yellow shield. Here we have two dispels to go off. I use mass dispel for it just to be safe. The pump is really good, so we won't be having to deal too much with these packs, but I know the boss is coming up, so I'm trying to do a little bit of like manual flash shields and everything just to keep everything up, because to be fair, this boss here is not hard. It doesn't do any AoE damage whatsoever. You have the plant that is being spawned, and if it focuses you, it's problem 10. So everybody and their mom needs to focus that ad as soon as possible. The main thing about this fight is the dance and the movement, because you will have sprockets flying all around. You will have the fiery lines. You will have to like keep moving with them to not get hit, and also at some point you do have to like get some heals through. Again, it's not very healing intensive, but it's definitely movement intensive, and if you're a priest, you know movement is really not the best for priests. Regardless, everything is going like pretty good, right? Like everybody's dodging stuff, we're focusing down the plants, we're like using our cooldowns on the boss, so you don't have much to do as opposed to like, you know, just keep your shield on the tank or whatever cooldown you have if you're playing a different healer, and make sure like if somebody does fuck up or gets hit, it doesn't get one shot, you put him back into good shape. Other than that, dodge the sprockets, dodge the fiery lines, and that's how the dance goes for this fight. Now obviously you're gonna have like the bomb here, and which is very good, indicated by the blue circle. It's not something like I mean, if you're gonna stay in that, you're gonna die for that, you know, that's on you. It's big, it's visual, you can avoid it, no problem. At this point, we get the boss to like half HP. Once again, now it's becoming a little bit more hectic because we have a couple of more sprockets. There's also the fiery beams, but so far so good. It's going smooth. Everybody's feeling confident. We have plenty of time, and we know this is basically our first time 12 key. Now, Mechagon isn't the hardest dungeon. It's not the easiest one either, but once we go lower and lower, I think you know, everybody felt a little bit too cocky and let the chaos commence. So right over here, I'm going to get hit by the beam. It's gonna be very rough. I think the tank also got hit. The shaman got hit. I used all my defensives. I used pain suppress, desperate prayer, fade, and I managed to like keep myself alive. But the tank is running really low. He also has 2 stacks of the beam. I won a power radiance. I also PS the tank here. It was all out chaos, and luckily the boss was so low that we managed to. This was the clutchest moment in the whole dungeon, and I think like pain suppress is like, man, giga, like that's 40% damage reduction. If it wasn't for that on myself and the tank, I'm not sure if we would have survived this, because maybe the remaining DPS would have been able to kill it. I don't know, but it was very scary and it was stressful as hell. Now, to these mobs, once again, you know about them. They do the biggest AoE on the planet. This time we decided to not pull them both at the same time. Just because, you know, we lived through that tense moment just before, so we were feeling a little bit scary, like from as confident as we were when we were fighting the boss. Now we're moving to like, okay, let's be safer. but you pop cooldowns as a healer for that and you're Gucci. Here, once again, a nice assortment of mobs. We have the Tinkers who need to be interrupted, the Squirrels as well. We pull another mob here which will do a massive AoE. Make sure you stay as much as possible in the yellow shields, the yellow shields, so you will get a lot of absorbs and pop all of your cooldowns. Obviously, you're gonna have the spells to go through. I can see Flame has one on him as well. He used Detox for that, so that saves me my Dispel because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get another one like here. Got one on myself. The Feral was dropping pretty low as well, but I do have my cooldowns ready, so I'm pretty much confident that we're gonna live through it, especially because there's also shields being used here. Like you can see, there's 2 of them, so we're Gucci. Last time when we passed this trash pack and went into the second one, it was a little bit chaotic, especially with the mobs at the entrance of the boss. But this time it was pretty much smooth. We go through this one. We have like on this one particularly, like the Giga Zaps need to be interrupted all the time. You can use CCs, you can use interrupts. Your DPS and tank basically have to be on point in this. Again, if you're playing priest, if you're playing a different healer which has access to interrupt, then do your goddamn job and start interrupting stuff. You see, like earlier there, I used my fear. That was my whole kit to start interrupting this and stopping it from happening. But shields are here. Always stay in the shields. You can also not negate, but get, like, if a squirrel has this, like, I'm too scared because it's a 12, but usually if you stay in the little yellow shield during the squirrel AoE, you're gonna have a lot of that being absorbed. It's not negated completely, but it's not like one shot as it can happen. So we kind of finish up through this, fast forwarding this, and we're gonna have the 2 little mobs here, which, if you remember from last time, they do AoE damage, plus they put little dots on people, and again, in 12s, both the AoE and the dots tend to hurt if you don't do something about it. And especially here, like the Shaman is like kind of like the squishiest target, so you have to be aware what he's doing and if he's using any defenses. You have the AoE popping up. I do have my Squid popped up. I did do a Radiance. Here is the Mind Blast, and now we're just chilling because we are able to heal this no problemo. Get a Dispel on the Shaman as soon as possible. Do not get any, so basically to not force him to use any defensive cooldown, because he will need those further down the line. Like the boss before the big boss is a place where he would need it, and I'm not going to even to mention when you get targeted by the Giga Zap on the final boss. That's definitely defensive moment time. So once again, Dispel the Shaman here, and we're kind of ready to go. Basically, you should be fine, because if you pull like this and not accidentally get these 2 guys with the mobs that are already on this platform, then you should be good. You have the shields to stay in through, like for the AoE, and that's Gucci. Now for this one, nothing really has changed. What we did here actually is always stay into melee. Like if you're range healer or DPS, just stay with the melee. This will force all of these bombs, electrified bombs, to just move to one place, and it will be a lot easier. If somebody gets Mega Zap, you make sure you like do a shield, have him pop a defensive. You can see the Feral here pop his bark skin. I also like use single target pendants on him, and always move with the group, so you can see we have a lot of space to move and just bait those bombs all the time in one singular motion. When he jumps up, this is when you want to pop some cooldowns, because that's AoE damage. If you do get targeted by the Mega Zap, again, use some defensives. I used Fade and Desperate Prayer, and this is pretty much the dance of this first fight of the last boss. It's pretty annoying that if you die to this, and if you kill it, or if you wipe to the big boss, you'll have to go through this one again. It's pretty silly, but here comes the boss. So what do we do here? Well, first of all, make sure you dodge all of these. Now, you look at your ability timeline on the right, you can see Mega Zaps are incoming, right? So if somebody gets Mega Zapped, this time it is going to be on the tank. He's going to be fine. He uses defenses, but this time it's on me. So immediately I use my Fade, I use a shield on myself, and use a single target penance, because I do want to save stuff for the other people. The Shaman also used his defensive once again, but that isn't enough, right? I do a like nice fat shield on him, and Flame died because he got hit by one of those bombs. But the Magneto arm is coming, so I was already prepping up for that and making sure that I'm getting into a nice spot where I don't get pulled or touched by the little bombs. As this goes through, the warrior pops commanding shout, and also I have everything lined up to make everybody feel healthy and not being stressed out. You cannot be conservative with cooldowns on this phase. This hurts so much that if you like hesitate, you probably somebody's gonna die. So the shaman once again gets targeted. He pops a second defensives. I have a shield on him as well. I see the feral getting targeted as well. He used bark skin here. I'm gonna decide to just heal him first and get an instant flashlight and a shield, and also another instant flashlight on the shaman. Use a power radiance and make use of the penance here just to heal both of them, because I saw Flame also getting targeted by the Mega Zap. This is the whole dance of the fight. Somebody gets targeted by the Mega Zap, make sure you use either a shield or in some cases even pain suppress depending on the situation. I was kind of greedy with my pain suppressors here. I could have used them and, you know, have people a little bit more relaxed. Really important for you to like have your DPS feel safe and relaxed so they don't, you know, think about other stuff. I think I use a pain suppress here on myself, and you can see how much value that is, especially for a squishy target. It doesn't hit me that much. That's 40% damage reduction. I just used a flash heal, instant flash heal on myself, and that was basically it. Flame also got targeted by the Mega Zap. I used the shield on him. My ticks are taking me a little bit low, and I can see on the right side of the weak aura the Magneto arm is coming up. So once again, I prep up, I ramp up, everything is being all Gucci, and I'm not going to risk it. My positioning was not the best here, I have to say, because I can see the bombs coming from all places. But hey, I used the dome for the melees over there to not risk anything, and also I used my uppies to be extra safe, because man, we wiped in previous 12s and 11s on this. It was insane, and it was partially also because I was a little bit too greedy with my cooldowns. So no more risks. When Magneto arm comes, just use everything you have, and look at this, we managed to time it. Even with that super clutch moment on the third boss, it was all good. But hey, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the series, if you learned anything, and make sure to check out this video and see all of our add-ons and player profiles, and everything you see in this is in this video.